into my future ones. Oh, it's on everything. No. There it is. Nice video of me working under my desk. All right. Oh, wow. Let's see. I've got green, got coaching, and I've got Samsung, and I've got Sing. So that's all cool. Let me breakout ring. Have you been invited to join a breakout room? Okay. Oh, okay. Good. You have, you just can't see it. Okay, cool. I think it's continuing this first. Did I sign the dismissals on all of it already? Okay. I will sign them. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Things are connecting. So, hi, I'm Judge Person. I'm starting a little early, which I think will work nicely for everyone. But I'm just kind of letting people's audio connect first. And I did have a person labeled Samsung, and I'm asking them to unmute and tell me who they are. Samsung SM dash something. Could you tell me your name?
Okay. Michael Barnes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Barnes. You're on the pretrial docket today, and the prosecutor doesn't have to be here till more like 9. So, but we'll be here soon, I know. And I also have Tiffany Green on that docket. So we're just waiting for that prosecutor. I'll have some announcements to make here in just a moment. Well, actually, I'll do them. I want to let people know a few things. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are the ways that we have under the law to accuse someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when you give a plea, you're giving an answer or a response to the accusation. There are 3 pleading options: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Guilty means I did this. Not guilty means I'm contesting the charge. And no contest means I'm not contesting, admitting, or denying the offense. If you plead guilty or no contest, I start sentencing right away. We don't usually reset unless it's beneficial for yourself for that to happen. I normally don't reschedule. If there's a benefit that we can get to with a reset, well, I'm willing to entertain that idea. So I will move into sentencing. And I want to talk in just a quick moment about how you get dismissals, even where you've pled guilty or no contest, because I think it's helpful for people to know about that. If you plead not guilty, you're really asking that the state prove the case against you. Ultimately, the law says I interpret that as a request for trial. So I'll be moving those not guilty pleas over towards the docket. I have a scheduling order, and the scheduling order is 1, we're going to try and see if it's resolvable today on this format. Doesn't mean you need to resolve it. It just means I'm asking the prosecutor as well as yourself to take a good long look at it, see if there's negotiation that's possible. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I don't really have an opinion about it, but I know that I'm tasked with trying to do that first. And then the second setting on that not guilty docket is we come into the courtroom for a pretrial here in the building. And there we're doing some different things that I don't think is appropriate on a Zoom call, which is that we're scheduling a bond, we're looking at trial dates, we're looking at any pretrial matters that might need to be, handled before the trial point, and we're getting ready to get to the trial point. And that's just not something that I think is appropriate to do on online. So we do that here.
Understood. I have,
We do that.
I-
I'm going to wait for you to talk. I will give you an opportunity to talk, but really, I'm the judge of the court, and I'm going to talk for a little bit. And because my remarks are not just directed towards yourself, they're not directed really specifically in any one person. They're my general remarks that I make every day. And I'll visit with you, but you are on the contested docket, Mr. Barnes, and you're not on screen right now, which I'll allow that. That's okay. But I'm going to just move forward for a little bit and finish what I have to say, and then I'll visit with you in a moment. So if you've pled guilty or no contest and we're moving towards, sentencing, then what happens in that event is that I'm looking at, what options are available. So it's really helpful if you've pled guilty or no contest to know your options that are available for dismissal. So they are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. So compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. The law will specify that the judge shall dismiss if you meet certain conditions. So in that event, I'll start looking for those conditions and see if you meet it. You're welcome to ask when it's your turn. If you have questions, if you wonder, hey, does mine, you can ask questions about it. And I'll let you have a chance. But I will tell you that I am specifically moving, in the direction of trying to do that because the law really tasks me with doing. That typically would be things like equipment violations, like a blinker that's out if you're cited for that, your tires are bald, things like that. But I'll look for those. Okay, the second option for dismissal, and I'm just letting people know. The second option for dismissal is if you qualify to be on a driver safety course option. With that option, you pay the court costs, the fine goes on hold. You get the course done and the driving record turned in, and you get a dismissal, and that fine is waived. Now, let me just briefly break down what I said a little bit further. Every ticket has a court cost and a fine. If you call the clerk, or if I'm arraigning you, and you ask how much is this ticket, you'll be given the number. That's what we call a window fine. It's a preset fine. It contains a lot of different things that can be broken down different ways. I'm not going to bore you with all that, but what is, I think, helpful to be aware of is that every ticket has a fine and a cost. And the costs are set by the Texas legislature. And that's my gentle way of letting you know that I can't do anything about those because the law sets those from our legislature. The fine is within a range that the judge is given, and then the judge sets the fine. And I will let you know in terms of setting the fine. In the driving safety course context, that fine's just going to be on hold. You pay the court costs, show license and insurance if you're qualified to be in that program, and then you've got a 90-day window to get your course and your record back in. Then if you do that, I dismiss the charge, and the fine that was on hold gets waived. It's going to be cheaper than the ticket. It does keep it off your record if you finish the program. You do pay court costs, which are not insubstantial. The legislature has those set at about $144 to $169. They're not insubstantial. So I'll be talking to you about when you can do those. That's for like moving violations. So that's the second option. The third option to keep an item off your record is if you do a deferred disposition. And deferred means to make a delay, and disposition means to make final. We delay making the case final. I put you into a probation kind of period. It's not really probation, but people kind of know what that sort of looks like, but it's good behavior. And we sort out whether a class is due, a record's due, fines and costs. We have to sort out when that's getting paid because that's part of it. You can't reoffend, get more tickets. get arrested, fail to come to court. If you meet the requirements of your deferral, you gain a dismissal. But you do have to specifically make the request of a deferral. And we can do that live in court or live on this meeting. We can't do it by phone. We can do it just in writing. Otherwise, if we're not in court. So here in this meeting, if you're requesting a deferred and you have not yet had your case sentenced or adjudicated, then I can entertain that request. If I say no, I say no. If I say, yeah, okay, I approve it, then we move in that direction. So just be aware that, sorry, I'm just making some notes, that you have to request that one at the time that you enter a plea. Otherwise, you waive it. And I'm not supposed to be asking you about it. You're supposed to be telling me you want that. So that really comes at me as opposed to me talking to you. So that would be the third one. And then the fourth one is if you qualify to be in teen court. And with teen court, you know, it's a savings and it keeps it off your record if you finish it. But there are going to be things you have to do in order to get through the teen court process. So that's really looks a bit like a deferred, but it's different things that are associated more with young persons, specifically young drivers. And so teen court works that way. So now then, I will move the pretrial docket forward. Mr. Mattson, could you just introduce yourself? I didn't tell them your name or anything like that, but just tell us who you are, who you work for, and what you look like. So they'll see you when you start talking.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Mattson. I'm the prosecutor for the city of Temple.
The prosecutor in the court like this one really operates like a district attorney. And if you've pleaded not guilty, you're on that docket. And I'm not part of the discussion that y'all have because your case could very well go to trial. I have to assume that it very well could. And therefore, I'm not part of a discussion of the facts because I am not supposed to pre-decide guilt or innocence prior to everyone being in the courtroom. If it's not agreed to, then everybody has the same right to be heard at the same hearing. Okay, so I break that room out, and Mr. Mattson will start. Tiffany Green logged in quite early this morning, so she's first, and I'll move her over to you at this time. Ms. Green, you'll be moved over. Forgot to tell her more about that, so just let her know more about that. She's moved over. I clicked too quickly. Okay. Mr. Barnes, you're on that pretrial docket. I know you wanted to visit. It's appropriate for me to give you general information, but it's most appropriate for you to hold that discussion for that conversation with the prosecutor.
So there's three things I forgot to tell you about on that financial thing that I didn't remember till I got home. Is I
Okay.
get the Army disability. I pay $205 a month for a second mortgage, and I pay child support for my daughter. I forgot those three things when we were in court.
That's fine to tell me. I don't really use that information yet. It's only in connection with setting a bond. And we'll do that when you come in. I'm assuming the case doesn't get resolved today, though. So tell me that again. You have a second mortgage?
Yes, it's $205,
Okay.
and I pay child support for my daughter.
What's that amount?
I don't know, Your Honor. I'll have to go
What are
into
you
my
ordering?
bank and look. I want to say it's around $500 a month.
I'll just put it as a question mark. And what else?
I get Army disability along with my VA disability.
Okay, what is that amount?
$11.58.
Okay, thank you. It may or may not be relevant today, but thank you for the information. We may need it at a later time. Let's see. You are scheduled. And just give me a second to get oriented. Okay. And we'll be with you very shortly. I'm going to just begin with Jamie. Say it for me, Kashim. So unmute if you would.
Chikeen.
One more time.
Chikeen. CECC.
I've got the spelling. I just didn't have the pronunciation. And
Okay.
then you cut off. So I didn't know what you said. Okay, so the charge now is a no driver's license charge, and the fines and costs are $181. There was a warning of some sort on the accident. I did receive a plea of of guilty from you. Is that your plea? Do you understand the pleading options? Guilty, not guilty, and no contest? And you're pleading guilty today?
Yes.
Okay. You made a request for teen court. And then let me know that you have an appointment March 9th at 1:30. Is that to get your license?
Yes.
Okay. Has she had anything from you? I don't think so. I'm just talking to a clerk for a moment to see if you qualify for a program that we do have. Hang on just a moment. No. Now, does his memo specify no accident? Or does it say no accident charged? Well, we would if there was a warning. So I'd just look at the ticket. I think it showed her having caused it. We would know if it's on that ticket or they were cited for it. It could be better. It's true, but I think that I understand. I certainly think. Who is this? It's failing to control speed. Okay. Okay. So you could do teen court. With teen court, there is a $20 fee. Now, the thing that was happening yesterday is I tried to maybe keep you from having to have court today, but you were not able to commit to paying the $20 fee today or yesterday, and in at least within a timely manner. I mean, I was listening on the call. There's a $20 fee, and that we just start with that. Can you pay that fee today in cash?
I can't make it up there.
Okay, well, how do you get around?
I really only go to my sister's house to babysit, and I just stay at her house throughout the week, and then I go home on the weekends. And she takes me home.
Okay, well, I don't know how to do teen court if there's no way for you to come to court to the building and pay your fee and do your paperwork. The other option, I could just schedule you to pay the ticket and have it just go on your record.
Will that keep me from getting my license?
I don't know. I can't give you legal advice. I really don't know. But I'm not able to give you. I mean, the answer would have been to not drive without a license, but you know, I'm allowed to assume that people who were cited for driving at least have a way to get around, but granted that I don't want you to drive up here illegally. So, because that would be my question. Can you lawfully get here? How would you do anything? How would you do anything toward your ticket besides go to warrant and wait until you could get up here? I mean, you literally don't go anywhere in the whole wide world ever except between two houses.
I walk to the store that's near my house. It's like a 30-minute walk.
Okay. Well, I'll accept
and
I'll just order payments and pay on.
Okay.
I don't know how to get you into a deferral program without you doing at least something by way of getting to the court.
I can ask my brother if he can take me.
Yeah. When could we know whether that's happening or not? Because you didn't ask him, I guess, last night after we tried to get you to come in for today.
It was on short notice, so I wouldn't have been able to come anyways because I have to take care of a kid, and I wouldn't have anyone to.
Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just schedule you to come in for a final pretrial on
Okay.
April 19th at 1 o'clock is my next available. And I'm just going to send that to you by email. And you'll need to show up with, some understanding that, when you break the law, you can't just say, well, I'm not going to come to court. I'm just not going to. I can't. It's short notice. I mean, we set this out weeks ago. So I'll reschedule you for April 19th at 1 o'clock. That's not on the pretrial docket. It's just for me to talk to her. So you'll come in and come into the courtroom. Okay.
All
You'll
right.
need to make arrangements to be here. I'm not going to adjudicate your case right now. Okay. It's on hold and I'm not accepting. I'll keep your plea and I will accept it on that day. So you do need to be here, but I'm not going to send it to you right now because it sounds like you need to line your ducks up a little bit better. Okay. Bring your license with you. That would help.
All right.
Okay. All right. We'll see you then. Okay. We'll email that to you,
Okay, thank you.
but it's not online. It's here.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me get my screen back. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Green. I'm sorry I moved you so quickly over to that meeting and forgot to tell you what was about to happen to you. I just had my finger on the button and accidentally clicked before it was time. So bear with me.
Okay.
Mr. Matson, where are we with regard to this speeding charge?
Your Honor, Ms. Green will be placed on deferral.
Okay. I have defined her situation to be as indigent, but have y'all negotiated beyond that point?
Yes, it'll be the 120-day period with a driver safety course by day 60.
Okay, that's April 18th. Did y'all discuss payment income situation?
Yeah, she had requested payment in installments, but did I hear you say that she is deemed indigent?
Yes. Okay. Did y'all discuss specifically on installments?
I know typically you do a third per month for the first 3 months. But if she would like to speak with you about doing community service instead, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Jacoby, I can't say it. About maybe.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, can you get on the screen?
Yes.
I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor and you'll come back here at the end.
Yes, ma'am. Go to settings.
There we go. Ms. Green, the discussion I was having with Mr. Matson and Mr. Matson, Ms. Bout has gone over. Oh, good, he did too. So Ms. Green, the discussion was I will definitely accept and approve the deferral. There's a couple of details. It would run from today until June 15th. We need a driving safety course by April 18th. You turn in, we'll send you or we'll get you information for how to find a course. Okay. But what I do want to say is, I know that you talked with Mr. Matson about doing a third, and a third. What I want to tell you about that is that I reviewed the situation and found that you are indigent, and therefore I could, instead of payment, order community. If we did community service instead of payment.
Can I, excuse me, Your Honor, can I go back to can you see back to the screen? I had to put the video.
Yeah. Just hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's weird. It has her in there twice. Okay, So, Ms. Green, it would turn into community service. If we did that instead of payment, it would be 13. And I would want it due the same time you turn in your course, which would be April 18th. The way that that works is I give you a list of pre-approved places. There is an option to leave the list, but you have to follow the directions that I give for that. And in any event, you get it turned in on time, and I credit you the community service numbers, instead of payment. And then as long as you get that done on time, your course turned in on time, don't reoffend or have failures to appear or get arrested, you gain a dismissal of the offense.
Okay.
Okay. You want to do it that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have to figure out how to get your signature and get you the material so that you know what you're supposed to do and how to do it. So I can email it to you if you're able to print it, sign it, and email it back. Or you can come by the court and just take a few moments and get it done here. So what do you say?
You can email it to me and I can print it from my office, sign it, and then send it back.
Okay, can we do that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll email class info, community service info, and your deferred order.
Okay.
And okay, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just sign it and we'll get the prosecutor's signature. But once you sign it, it'll be binding, okay? And just make sure if you read through and have questions, you can call a clerk. If a clerk can't answer, they will get the question to me, okay?
Okay, I actually do have one question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Because this is my first time, so I don't really know. So after I complete all of this,
Yes, ma'am.
is this ticket going to show on my record or no?
So as long as you meet the conditions of your deferred and are on time, and by June 15th, then I look and make sure everything is exactly the way we all agreed it would be. Then I sign that dismissal and it's not reflected as a conviction on your record.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're good to go.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. And I would talk next to Jasleen Singh, or Jasleen, excuse me. Good morning.
Good morning.
You get on screen.
Yes. Why is it not working? She's working on it. It's not letting her click on it.
Okay. Are you mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your name?
Sarah Kinzer?
Okay, Miss, just relax, Jasleen. It's okay. I can hear frustration building. We don't need to do it that way. Okay, so all right. So with this one, it's a failing to yield at a stop sign, or sorry, at a stop intersection. If you paid it at the window, the costs and fines are $269. The way that teen court works, I did receive your plea of, I believe it was no contest. Is first of all, did you understand the options for pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with the plea that you entered no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with teen court, when we normally do teen court, there's a $20 teen court fee, and we would need that today in cash. And so that's the first question. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the next thing is that we do a live teen court, like it's a sentencing hearing. And my next available for that docket, it's at Temple High School. And you would have to get away from school for just a few minutes early in order to get here. And the way that would then go is that you would show up at that hearing. you would have an advocate for you. You would have an advocate prosecuting you. And the question would be, what's your sentence? Is it, there's a range, and you're assigned a number of credits that you have to acquire. And then you work with a case manager who will help you sort out how many credits you need to have in order to gain a dismissal. It also would include that you sit in on a teen court trial the next month, which would be in mid-April. And all of that turns into, you're doing some things to get that dismissal, but it's instead of payment. And the answer there, or the reason that we're kind of looking at it that way, is that, you're in the number one group for death and dismemberment on our roadways. Young drivers 25 and under are the leading group. Texas just kills more young people. And so we have the teen court program because studies show that teen courts are the most successful way that we have to address death and dismemberment on the roadway. So we do it in a way that may feel like, gosh, I'm doing quite a number of things. But the answer is that actually that's the safest thing we could do for you. So that would be what I would request. And we would want to have you sign papers today to confirm that you're going to do that. And we would need you to come to the court, pay the $20, do your paperwork while you're here, and meet with a case manager who will just get some information to help your advocates, help you. And then we would then see you March 29th at the school. Now, because you're under 17, a parent would need to be with you when you come in and with you at the school that day. How does that sound?
Perfect.
Okay. So what time can you come by the building?
We can come by as soon as we get off.
Okay. We have a juvenile case manager. And so really it's 9:20. If you got here by 10, they'd be ready to meet with you.
Okay. We'll be there.
Okay. All right. So I just put some notes for them in the file, and they'll be looking for you. Just come to the window. Anyone can start helping you. Let them know you're here to sign up for teen court and to meet with the case manager.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you then.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Okay, Mr. Matson, I know you were talking with Ms. Bout, and where are we with regard to that allegation?
Your Honor, Ms. Bout will also be placed on deferral.
Okay,
That will be a 120-day period with a driver safety course due by day 60. And the total balance I'm showing is 384, and she has requested payment in installments of 128 per month for the first 3 months.
okay. I can do that. Ms. Bout, am I saying your last name correctly at all?
It's Butte.
Okay, Ms. Boutte, on $128, what's your start date? Do you want to start today?
Can I start? So I get paid on the 1st. Can I start then? Or?
Yes.
Yes,
March 1st is fine. Are you always paid on a Wednesday?
No. It's I'm in the Army, so it's like the 1st and 15th.
Oh, 1st and 15th.
But my car note is on it.
I know the drill. Okay, so then we would just go March 1st. April 1st is on a weekend, so April 3rd. And then May 1st.
Okay.
And I can email this to you. If you can print it, sign it, and email it back, that would save you a trip. Will that work?
So I'm out of town right now. So I was asking Mr. Mathis, can I if it was okay if I can come in tomorrow? Because I'm coming back in tonight. So
Okay.
I can come in tomorrow.
Yeah, we could do that. But if I email it to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back?
I'm not accessing to a printer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time tomorrow?
I can come in early whenever y'all open. It's fine.
Okay. Let's say 8:15.
Roger.
We open at 8.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have everything ready at the desk for you. Okay,
Yeah. Then. Thank you.
thank
Have a-
you. You
Have a
too.
good day.
You too. Mr. Mattson, I'm going to move you forward with Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes, can you unmute and get on? Hi. Let me move you over to that.
Yes.
Let me move you over to that pretrial meeting, and you'll be meeting with Mr. Mattson.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. McIntyre, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I did review everything, but I wasn't sure, you know, I can talk to you about this a little bit. I'll tell you that we had a deferral. I did revoke it. We had community service hours. They were due September 1st of 2022. When I didn't receive them, I scheduled a show cause to come in and talk to me about it. We still didn't get those. And so then that was revoked. The balance then is at 296. And let me just look real quickly. I had done an extension, there were a couple of extensions on the community service. It was due originally like June and then July, and then I guess I gave an extension. Right. And so that's really, we're just sitting there with a balance due. I haven't looked at your financial situation at this time. And let me just get that pulled up so that I have a few questions about that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know what it says, so I don't know what I'm asking you. Give me just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still in Temple?
Yes, ma'am. Back when you scheduled me to do the community service, I caught COVID and I couldn't work or go or do anything. And I tried to go back to work and I couldn't go back to work. They went ahead and not put me back on the schedule. So I know that's not an excuse, but I've just been trying to work and get my bills in order and try to get things in line. And I didn't have transportation at the time. My mother couldn't take me to community service at the time. So it was just a lot of things going on. I was just trying to get back on my feet.
Okay. We can get it back on track. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Are you working or are you still?
No, ma'am, I'm still not employed.
Okay, that's all right. I'm sorry, and I know that you're probably working. So I mean, it's not all right in that sense, but I mean, don't worry, because I can still do community service with you. I'm pretty patient about community service as long as you're staying on it and getting a little bit done, and just we can eke it out. It's okay. Are you cleared to work, to look for a job and all that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just waiting to get, I had a transportation problem, so I'm not able to work right now. But whenever I get this situation, drive. So whenever I get this situation taken care of, I was going to go ahead and try to get me another vehicle here pretty soon and start finding me another job.
Okay. And I don't actually give people's, information out, like their location, but I had you at an apartment B. And that's the most I want to say about your location. Is that still your address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there actually is community service in your area that you could get to relatively easy, like you wouldn't necessarily need a car. I can go ahead and order community service again. Okay. And I don't think the numbers changed. Let me just look. It would be 15 hours.
Okay.
So that hasn't changed. And I would just start with April 18th as a due date. And
okay.
The deal with that is if you can't get it done, then you need to turn in what you've done. At least let me know where you were doing it, where you've been doing it. I need to know if your provider is going to check out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Turn in whatever you've got. If it's not all of it, turn it in. Tell me, here's how much time I still need. You can bring that by the court or you can email. You know,
Okay.
but you need to communicate by your due date, which would be April 18th. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the email that we used to schedule this meeting for today, does that email work for you in terms of if I send the info to you, can you print it out so that you can use it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I also have some of the paperwork that I had before that you gave me. Can
Yes,
they
ma'am.
sign that paper?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine. Hold on. Yes, that's still usable. Okay. No problem with that. And my provider list has not really changed. What has changed though, is if you are going to leave that list and go to something that's not on the list, there's a new way that we do that. Because I had too many people spinning their wheels, getting a bunch of work done, only to find that I wasn't able legally to approve their provider. So I don't want you to do that. So look at the information that we send you. Just make
Okay.
sure you understand if you're going to leave that list, we've got a process now that you need to follow. Otherwise, I might not be able to approve it. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any more questions?
No, ma'am. I just have one more. I know that I have to do the SR-22. If I'm not able to pay for that because I'm not working right now, am I still able to pay the $100 fine and reinstate my license?
So that's really a question for DPS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What you want to do is go online and just do a word search on Texas DPS, get my license back, and see if that answer is in their like FAQ.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, if you get on the phone with them, you're going to be on hold for a while. Like you will probably eventually reach someone, but there might be like a tutoring system on there. I don't know the answer to that. I know that if you had insurance at the time that you got a conviction, you can sort of get a discount even if you got a conviction on it, because sometimes people pay their ticket and then they really had insurance, but they just couldn't prove it or whatever. If you can prove it to them, they'll discount you. I don't know how they are handling the issue of indigence. I know how I handle it. I follow the law. I don't know how DPS handles it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just check in with them because they are the ones that make those rules.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, Miss McIntyre. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Have a blessed day.
You too, ma'am. We'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see your hours soon.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Mr. Matson, I know that you and Mr. Barnes were visiting, and maybe you could give me just kind of a status update. I know we have a lot of things to consider.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Barnes and I have actually reached a plea agreement.
Okay.
I will be dismissing 6 of his citations in exchange for a plea of no contest on 4.
Okay.
And if my memory serves correct from our previous in-court meeting, he was deemed indigent.
Well, he may still be. Give me a second. He gave me new information, but I don't think it's going to change that. Give me one moment, okay? In the meantime, well, actually, not yet. Hang on. I can go ahead and allow community service. I do need to know which 4 cases. We could start with the date and then the number on the case. That would help.
Certainly, Your Honor. We can just do the 4 that will be no contest pleas will be the 2 cases from September 2nd.
Okay.
And then the 2 cases from September 16th, just to keep things nice and organized.
Okay. That would then mean that the September 22nd, those 2 cases, I'm sorry, that case, the 23rd, October 24th, 2 cases, November 7th, 2 cases, those would be dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. It makes it nice and simple to do it that way because the top, well, they all have the same amount actually. But the total then is 1704. Now I do have a question, and that turns into 85 hours of community service. Mr. Barnes, I can certainly work with you on the time that it would take to get that done. I have a list of providers that are local, and I know you're a local person. I would give you, really, at this point, we would start with 90 days to do that. It might be that you can get it done in that time. If you can't, though, you can turn in what you've gotten done by that date, and then, ask for more time, apply in writing for an extension by turning in what you have and just letting me know how much more time you think you need. And we can just whittle away at it that way. I'm so sorry. If you could unmute, that would be so helpful. Thank you.
There. Okay.
Okay. So I can email everything.
So is there a way I could get this deferred till my shoulders finish recovering from my surgery? That's what
Yes.
we had to put the case on hold for, because
It wouldn't be on hold, but the hours due, I can just adjust when they're due. What's the issue? Like, how long are you in a rehab state with that?
so I'm still in so on middle of March, I can check my calendar, is the last physical therapy, and then from there, March 8th is last physical therapy, and then from there they'll determine if I need more or not.
Right. What I can't really do is just have it be an open-ended thing. So
No,
what
it's
I
just-
would, let me just complete my sentence. So
Sure.
what I would do is just adjust, and we'll move that out 4 months to June 15th. And like I'm saying, I'm actually saying to you that if you walked in on June 16th or 15th and you had 2 hours, or, you picked out a provider but didn't have hours, you can apply for an extension.
Okay.
And I'll work with you.
Okay.
So I'll email everything to you.
Okay.
And, you can print it and use it there, but there's one signature page that you'll need to sign. Can you sign it and get it back to us, or can you get over
Yes.
to the court? Okay. So we'll email that to you this morning. And just, get the one page back. The one page just says if you're injured working and you're working for the city, they don't have coverage at their providers. They are not the only place. They're one of many places to choose from. The forms will tell you there will be a form to track your hours. There'll be a form of directions that will tell you the rules. There'll be a list of providers, and there'll be a page that tells you, if you're leaving the list, what you need to do to make sure that your provider is going to be approved. Okay?
Understood.
Okay. Because not everything that you can do for community service is physical labor. And you may find something you already can do. I don't know. But I'm not I don't baby people because we're grownups. So
That's right.
I give you the tools and you work on the solving the problem, and I give you the tools that should enable you to do so. Okay, Mr.
Sure. Understood.
If you wind up with questions, however, the case manager on community service is Ms. Stotts. And if you have a question, you can email the court to her attention, or you can come by and drop her or myself a note. Okay.
Is her name and number on this paperwork? Or at least her name?
No, but you can hit reply to the email and email her.
Oh, okay.
And you don't have
Okay.
to know her name.
It'll come from her.
It'll come from the court help email. And if you
Okay.
reply to it, it will go where it needs to go. Yeah, because the thing is, if you just email her in her inbox and she was sick that day, no one would know you emailed. We don't do it that way. We have
Okay.
a court online help email, and we will triage it and get it to.
Understood.
Okay, we'll send that over to you. Thank you, Mr. Barnes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Escasa,
Good morning. Your Honor.
good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Matson is here, and he already sent over dismissals on the 2 cases that were pending. Those are being dismissed. However, there's a new charge from January 17th, and the fines and costs are at $2,076. Now, you're not scheduled for court until March 6th on that, but we're here. I don't know enough about it to tell you what it's about. But let me get it pulled up and we can just see if you want to go ahead and answer today or not. Okay. Give me a moment. Or did we print that yet? No, I have that, but I'm just wanting to read in the complaint. Yeah. Since we have a few minutes. Yeah, it's a rubbish charge and it's dating from January 17th. And let me just print it and I'll tell you what it says. Sorry? Yeah, but I don't. I would really like to just read it. On this one, we just take no action. Okay, the rubbish in question, according to the complaint, is rubbish including boxes, household trash, shopping carts, tarps, and construction debris along East Calhoun Avenue, allocated to 309 North 6th Street. So that is a charge that says that the accumulation of rubbish, trash, refuse, junk, or other abandoned materials such as metals, lumber, stagnant water, or any object or matter that may cause injury, death, disease to human beings. Rubbish including boxes, household trash, shopping carts, tarps, and construction debris. And that allegation date is for the 17th of January. How are you pleading to that charge?
Not guilty.
Okay. Mr. Matson, I know that that's not on your docket today. Do you want to discuss it with Mr. Escasa since he's here, or do we need to reschedule for a court date?
That is a good question, Your Honor.
You may need to check in with code. So
I think that might be the best approach.
Okay, sure. I'm going to schedule that for pretrial on March 14th That's another Zoom meeting, Mr. Escasa, March 14th, okay? And then your final pretrial date would be April 19th at 1. And that's if the case isn't resolved. We'll email all that to you later today, okay?
You know, what's my court date is, did you say March 14th, Your Honor?
March 14th, you're on the Zoom. We'll email you the link later today.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you. You're good to go.
So we're done for now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.